Welcome back, everybody, for another exciting episode of Indie Reads Aloud. Today, Jean Davis is back. This is the third time she's coming back to share her children's books with us. I love it when you're on the program. We have such a good time.
We do.
I love being able to talk to people who really get the insanity of what the writing career calls to us about. And I really understand that you get it because you've got like what 127 different books now.
18. Yeah.
Okay, I was close.
I
I
can
was
get there
close.
eventually, but
I
yeah,
was
18.
I was close. Math has never been my thing.
We do words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this is your third children's book,
Yes.
Laya's Vacation. And
Yes.
this is the second children's book that you have both written and illustrated.
Correct. Yes.
What medium do you use to do your illustrations?
So they are all watercolor. When I was a young person, way back when, I took a lot of art classes. I loved doing art. I loved doing watercolors and acrylics and pen and inks and all those fun things. And then I had children, and I did not have time to do arts. I had to pick my diversion, which ended up being writing. And so I put a lot of my art stuff, drawing stuff, got put away in a cupboard. And once finally my children had moved out, I had time to do art again.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who is an artist, I said, "Oh, I'm going to do these watercolors." And she's like, "I didn't know you knew how to do watercolor." I'm like, "I did before you." I used to art more. Yeah.
Back when my chicken coop was full.
Yeah, and then I was busy doing kid things, and I didn't have
Yeah.
time for all of the things I like to do. So now I have time for all the things I like to do again. Yeah, so it's kind of fun being able to get back
Except
to that.
Except I wanna just do a shout out here for you because not only are you an amazing author and you're an incredible artist and just in general a really nice human, you also host children from other lands to come and live with you
I
and go to school here.
do. Yeah, I kind of got out of that when my children were moving out, and I was having fun with being an empty nest person. I did not have the withdrawal that some people do. I'm like, bye.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
love
kind of
you.
what I did. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have two girls currently that are staying with us, and they were in a situation where they were in a home that had a medical emergency and they needed somewhere else to be. And having done this previously, these will be, we had three, I want to say three, four kids. Yes, we had four kids previously, over the years, and then these two were staying somewhere together, and we are set up with the high school. We are very familiar with it because my children went there. We are very close to it. We're in walking distance, and we've had exchange students, and we have empty bedrooms. So we had all of the ingredients that they required, and so we currently have two exchange students that are here till the end of the school year. And it's a great way to get to know other cultures without leaving your own home.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So how similar is it to um juggling your own kids? I mean, are there different, you don't have to get specific, but is it harder, easier, or about the same
About the
to raise
same. So if you
somebody
have
else's
raised
kids?
teenagers, that wild beast that those are, you are familiar with what is required. They typically an exchange student is in the 16 to 18 range. They're usually in their senior year of high school, wherever they come from, junior, senior year. So they are and they are generally fairly responsible because they're going to another country and their parents are willing to send them there. So they're not, and they have to pass an English fluency test. So they're usually fairly fluent, and because they're gonna take school here. So
So
um
what do they think about your chickens?
they enjoyed them. So we've had some chickens that came to me, or that I went and got. Okay, literally I went and got them. Okay, fine. I went and got some chickens at the time when they were with us here. And so they each got to name one. So one is
Fun.
my Norwegian student. They were trying to come up with names from their country, and I said, no, they have to be names I can say. Thank you. Um, so we named one after her mother. So one was Sigrun, but it has now turned out that it is a Sigurd because it is crowing. So it is.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And then the other one, my other student's from Bolivia, and so they are very naming people after religious figures is very popular there.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people walking around naming Mary Joseph and Joseph Mary and all the combinations thereof, in addition to other names. And so we named this one Mary Joseph. So we have Mary Joseph the chicken, or MJ, as well.
How fun. How cool that you get to share cultures, through chickens. I mean, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, and our previous student that stayed with us all year, we had just got our second batch of chickens we ever had when she was with us 7 years ago, and so we named one after her father. So we had a chicken named Fleming, who has since passed away, but we had Fleming the chicken for quite a while, and so it's kind of fun. I always name them after something there that means something
That's
because it's
that's
fun.
so cool.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
so cool that we can bridge cultural gaps with chickens. I just think it's just such a great
Chickens are a
notion.
universal thing. People
I
eat chickens and see chickens and know what chickens are. So
and if anybody was here a couple of episodes ago, we also learned that chickens are universal, like out in the universe, traveling through space,
they are
universal.
traveling through
So
space as well. Yes. Chickens
uh,
have been in space.
chickens,
So
they're
yes, why not?
like
Why not my chickens? Yeah.
they're like the best of creatures.
They
I think
are
it's a
fun
good idea.
creatures. Indeed.
So usually this is the part where I talk about who you are and where you're from, but I feel like we've done that a lot.
We have been over that, yeah.
You've been on the show a lot. So anybody who wants to know more about Jean Davis and her background and her um, predilections toward weirdness, go ahead and check out the show notes. And you can see that. You can also find Jean's website in the show notes as well. So I am super excited. You're gonna read Leia's Vacation for us.
Leia's vacation. So Leia is one of the chickens that comes to most of the events with me. So if you see me at something, you've most likely met Leia. She is my true tried, true, and steady chicken that comes with me all over the place, and I'll be incredibly devastated when she leaves me, as chickens do eventually. But she's my baby. So yeah, she actually went. This is a true story. She did go on vacation with me, and the reasons she went are also very true. They are from this book. The only thing
What's
not true in
this?
the story, she did not play with the animals, because as you'll see, that would be devastating should that actually have
Chicken.
happened. But yeah,
Chicken. Yeah.
chicken does not play well with a bear, but in the story,
Uh-huh. Well,
we
and
do
that's
make
the
that
great
happen.
thing about imagination, right?
Exactly.
We
Yes,
take from our real lives and stick it in books and have fun.
exactly. So she did travel to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with me, and this is her story.
I just love the idea of a chicken crossing the Mackinac Bridge.
She sat in her little carrier. She has a carrier, and she
What a
sat
great
in my
idea.
car, and she travels with me all over, so she has fun.
I mean, it's fantastic. I am
Yes.
looking forward to hearing this. Please, when you are ready, read Layla's Vacation.
All right. So summer seemed to go on forever in the chicken yard. It was hot, and it made everyone grumpy, especially Leia. True story. She was super grumpy. Grandma Limpy's legs bothered her in the heat, and she flapped her big wings to keep her balance, sending straw and wood chips flying into the food, the water, and Leia's face. Leia was not a fan. Her friend KK had learned some new songs. She liked to bop them very loudly, so everyone could hear how great they were. Not great. Leia liked her fun new friends, K2 and Cracker, when they'd first moved into the coop, but they were younger and they had so much energy. And they wanted to be right next to her, doing what she was doing all day long. Hennifer had hatched 4 chicks. She was too busy and tired to spend time with her sister Leia. Even worse, the chicks made peeping noises all day and all night. You see why Leia's grumpy? Sick of all the noise and the heat, Leia decided that she needed a vacation, as we all do sometimes. Maybe she could find some new friends who weren't messy and loud or too busy or too full of energy. Leia had heard that it was nice and cool in Michigan's Upper Peninsula and that there were lots of animals there. Excited for her vacation, she didn't even mind riding in the car for several hours. When She reached the Upper Peninsula. Leia stopped on the shore of Lake Superior. She looked at all the pretty rocks and the lighthouse while enjoying the cool breeze. She spotted a seagull and offered to share some of her lunch. Would you like to be my friend? She asked. The seagull filled its beak with Leia's seeds and flew out over the lake without even saying thank you. Her friends at home wouldn't have been so rude. Leia went for a walk in the woods. She spotted a deer. Would you like to play? She said. The deer looked at her with its big brown eyes. Sure, catch me if you can. The deer ran into the forest on its long legs before Leia could even cross the stream. Her friends at home would have run with her together. The next morning, Leia visited Tahquamenon Falls. The waterfalls were loud and a little scary, but they were very pretty to look at. Leia walked along the water. A mouse scampered onto the boardwalk. At least this animal's had legs shorter than hers, and it couldn't fly away. Would you like to be my friend? Leia asked. Just as the mouse nodded, a family came down the boardwalk. The mouse froze. They're just people. There's no need to be scared, Leia said. The mouse dashed into the grass and disappeared down a tiny hole. Leia's foot couldn't even fit through it. The people on the boardwalk talked about a blueberry festival that was happening close by. Leia loved blueberries. She decided to go. When she got to the festival, people were and berries were everywhere. She gobbled up all the berries she could find until her tummy was very full. Leia went to bed happy. The next morning, Leia decided she needed to find an animal that was more her size, that couldn't fly or run too fast. Deep in the woods, she spotted a strange creature that was black and fuzzy like Hennifer, but bigger. Hello, I'm a bear, it said. Would you like to play with me? Leia nodded. The two of them tumbled and ran around, and at first it was fun, but the little bear's claws poked her, and its sharp teeth scared her. And the bear wasn't as careful as her friends at home when they played. Then the bear's mama called for it to come home, and Leia let out a relieved sigh. None of these animals were right for her. All she could think about was how much she wanted to tell her friends about the animals she'd met and the places she'd been. So she packed up and headed home. The closer Leia got, the more she couldn't wait to get there. When she finally reached the sunny chicken yard, all her friends were gathered in the shade to welcome her home. K2 and Cracker gave her big hugs and then stepped back. Grandma Limpy waved her wings, sending a cool breeze Leia's way. KK chirped a happy welcome in a quiet voice. And Hennifer sent her chicks off to play and sat down beside Leia. Tell us all about your vacation, she said. The other chickens imagined all the places Leia had been while she told them about the rock-covered beach beside the great giant lake, and the festival where there were so many berries to eat, and the waterfall that ran over giant rocks. Leia told them about the seagull who had flown away with her seeds, and the tiny mouse, and the long-legged deer, the pokey bear. That sounds like a wonderful vacation, said Hennifer. What was your favorite part? It was a fun adventure, Leia said, but my favorite part was coming home to all of you. And there's everybody that lives in my little silky area. And there's Leia.
I love Leia's neck.
She is a naked neck silky.
She's got a great neck.
Yeah, so most of my silkies are naked neck. Those are my favorites just because it had such personality. A
Yeah.
traditional silky is just covered in fluff, and you just see a beak sticking out of fluff. It's yeah. So they're a much more of an animal that makes you stop and go, what is that?
Yeah, that doesn't look like a chicken.
Yeah, it doesn't look like most anything you'd think it would be. Yeah.
Will you do me a favor? Will you flip to the page where the little mouse was and
Mhm.
really show us that picture? Because he was so cute.
That is my favorite picture in the whole book, honestly. Yes. That is my little mouse.
He's so adorable.
Thank you. I love that how that one turned out.
Yep, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. I love your artwork. I love your stories.
You.
Do you have more children's books on the horizon?
I don't have any more picture books. They're very time intensive for me to do. And I really want to focus on more adult books for a bit, just because I did put out Laya's Vacation and Nugget, the Space Chicken, kind of, I don't want to say back to back, but pretty close together.
Sure.
And then also I put out some of my space opera series books. I think last fall was the one that came out. So I really want to focus on some more standalone young adult books for a little bit. Um, just
Super.
to give something to that part of my audience as well as the children's books.
Well,
But
and because sometimes we need ideas to germinate while we work on other things,
yeah, I do have another Nugget the Space Chicken book that's in the percolating stage right now, so
right?
that will possibly be out this fall, but I'm not holding myself to that. So we'll see what
Super
happens. But
fun. Well, if
yeah,
anybody wants to follow Jean, find out where her next adventure is going to lead, where you can go see her out on the road all over the Midwest this year.
it's in 3 states. Yeah.
She's everywhere, you guys. She can go find her. She's super fun. You can't miss her. She's the woman with chicken. Just ask somebody, they'll point you in the right
No point.
direction.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jean. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
you came to share another book with us, and I look forward to doing it again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.